Everyone keeps telling me how my story is supposed to go. Nah, I'ma do my own thing. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse is one of the greatest sequels of all time, not just in animation, not just in superheroes. Like, this is really good. Now, do I think it's better than Into the Spider-Verse? It's a hard yes or no because Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse felt like a complete movie. This one, however, I feel like we have to get to Beyond the Spider-Verse to get fully satisfied with the story. This movie is amazing. One of the greatest of all time, like I said. But I'm just really anticipating that Beyond the Spider-Verse fully ties all these knots together and gives you a satisfying trilogy. This has hands down the biggest chance of being one of the greatest trilogies of all time. It's just a matter of fact of whether or not they will deliver, and I strongly believe that they will deliver. This kind of gives me the Back to the Future vibes in the sense of the first one is such a iconic, you can watch it timeless over and over. 2 and 3 are also great movies, but you really need one and the other, whereas the original one you can watch by itself. And given that this is a Spider-Man title movie, they don't only focus on Miles Morales. This is as much of a Gwen Stacy story as it is a Miles one, because the movie starts with Gwen Stacy, her backstory of how Peter Parker died, how he became the Lizard, and Spider Gwen was the one to save him. Then it eventually led to Peter Parker's death, which then led to Captain Stacy, Gwen Stacy's father, to go after Spider Woman. And then the big twist where like the dad finds out that his daughter is Spider Gwen. You know, he questions everything in his life, and even if he can accept his own daughter. And when this group of other Spider individuals are helping her out, from Spider Woman to Miguel O'Hara, it's just like, okay, I'm liking where this is going, and it's doing a really strong job of getting you anticipated for what's to come for this. But then we move on to the important story, and that is, of course, Miles Morales. How has he been? Did he update his suit? He definitely changed the spider in his logo. But we get to see what Miles Morales is up to nowadays. Then he meets the Spot, who for years was a goofy character, but in this movie, he single-handedly became one of the most iconic villains in Spider-Man's life. He wants to be seen by many as like Spider-Man's greatest villain in this universe, at least. The way he became the Spot was actually very interesting. So if you guys remember Into the Spider-Verse, when Peter and Miles are running away with the computer that they were supposed to hack this code, Peter steals a bagel and throws it at a guy. If you guys remember briefly, that character is the Spot. So basically all of this was built after a bagel. Now, fun fact: this is actually inspired by Everything Everywhere All at Once, one of the best movies of that year. For me, it probably was. Yeah, it was my favorite movie of that year. That movie was just really good. You should go out of your way to watch it. That's how you do a multiverse, Hollywood. But they had a lot of huge inspiration. They basically used that bagel story to make this. So the bagel verse is real, everybody. However, you could tell that Miles Morales is trying to balance life as Spider-Man and life as Miles Morales. He doesn't have time to like be doing good in school. He wants to get to parties in time, but he's constantly fighting crime. He gets a cake with a bunch of lettering only for him to like destroy the cake on the way over. It's just a big mess, and in the process, Miles just kind of has enough, and it sucks because no one could relate to him except the spider people that he met in the first movie. And that's when Gwen Stacy comes in to visit. They hang out for a little bit, they get to catch up, And then later we found out that Gwen was really only there for a mission, but now Miles is on his way to try to see what Gwen's up to. Meanwhile, after Miles and Officer Jefferson Morales, they changed his name here, um, after they take out the spot, he dives into one of his holes and then he finds the multiverse. He visits all these different universes from Lego Spider-Man, even the Venom universe. He visits Mrs. Chen. He goes around, sees all these different Spider-Man from different parts of the universe, and this basically sets up the story because of Miles's incidents. Now he's gonna have to face the consequence. Now the spot is being located everywhere, so that's why Gwen was even there in the first place. But then when Miles realizes why Gwen was there, he's trying to find her and see what she's up to and try to help the best he can. And in the process, we go through all these different universes and we get introduced to possibly one of my new favorite Spider-Men, and that is Pavitir Prabhakar. I believe that's how you pronounce it, but he is a Spider-Man from India, and I love his design. I love his web shooters. They would look different, like a yo-yo. I love his hair. It was all perfect, and the voice actor was perfectly cast. It was the taxi driver, Dopender from Deadpool 2. That was awesome. Really cool. Really good to see him. I really love his character, and I love that Miles is trying to help the best he can, but in the process, you're also hurting his universe by getting involved. So, like, everything has to go according to plan. Otherwise, there is a strong risk of his universe now being endangered. And then we get introduced to Spider Punk, which I'm like, I love his design. I love that he looks like he's ripped out of a magazine. Every time he moves, it looks like he was ripped out of a magazine. He's great. Daniel Kaluuya did a great job voicing him. I even like him without the mask. Like, I like that even Miles was like, how do you look cooler even without the mask? He's like, oh, I always was cool. Like, he was just awesome. I love Spider Punk. I can't wait to see more of him. They got to do a whole TV series on him. Spider Punk is awesome. But Spider-Man gets brought to the headquarters of all the different Spider-Men across multiple dimensions. They even reference the incident that happened in No Way Home with Doctor Strange messing with the fabric of time. We'll get to No Way Home by the end of this, don't worry. Oh, I totally forgot. The Prowler, Donald Glover pops up in here as himself, wearing the Prowler suit. Like, they actually do a good job of balancing live action and animation here. And I really like the scene where he's like, it's not polite to stare. This was an awesome cameo. I really liked it. Plus, Donald Glover was Spider-Man in the cartoons. But we get to learn more about Miles Morales being Spider-Man, and we also learn about how it's important to make sure all the timelines stay the same because it could damage multiple worlds. Miguel O'Hara had a universe where his world was destroyed, unfortunately, and now he's just trying to avoid everything from being destroyed. However, there's this backstory where he is a vampire. Maybe he's Morbius, rumors have said. We don't have the full answers until we get to Beyond the Spider-Verse. I really hope they cap off that story well done. But so far, I'm a little bit confused with him, and I kind of want to see more of his backstory when we do get to Beyond the Spider-Verse. I wouldn't be surprised if they wind up making him the centerpiece of that movie. I think we're done with Peter Parker's. I mean, Peter B. Parker does appear in this. He even has a daughter here in this movie, so that was actually pretty cool to see him kind of getting his life back together. Now, when we realized that we have to stick to timelines to be however they were supposed to be, otherwise they could have messed up with the timelines. We even see like Andrew Garfield and the death of Captain Stacy. We get to see why it was so important that Uncle Ben had to die, because without Uncle Ben's death, a lot of the Spider-Man that we know and love today wouldn't be here. They have a spectacular Spider-Man cameo, which I cried for because he is my favorite. We got to see all these different Spider-Men, and then Miles is trying to prevent his father from dying because the Spot is ready to kill him. And that is going to be something very interesting to see how it plays out in Beyond the Spider-Verse. I cannot wait for that movie when it comes out. Definitely gonna be my most anticipated movie. I don't want to say a year or date just in case I jinx it and they postpone it like a whole another year, decade. um. Anyways, we get to see that Miles is trying to escape um this headquarters, and Miguel O'Hara has a whole chase down of Miles Morales trying to run away. I love that part where Miguel O'Hara's like, everybody go get Spider-Man, and they're all doing the meme like you. It was so funny and awesome. They had all different kind of Spider-Man, dinosaur Spider-Man, cowboy Spider-Man, cat Spider-Man, all different kind of Spider people. Spider-Punk quits in the middle of this. He's like, I'm out. Uh, we got to see all different kinds of moments here of like Miles Morales trying to escape and outsmart everybody. But then we find out the biggest thing out of this whole story, and that is that Miles Morales wasn't even supposed to get bit. When Kingpin messed with his machine and try to open different multiverses and portals, he accidentally let the Earth 42 spider jump into Miles's world, and he's the one that got bit, but he wasn't the one that was supposed to get bit. It was supposed to be somebody else that we find out later on in the movie. And then it leads to the iconic scene of everybody keeps telling me how my story is supposed to go. Nah, I'm gonna do my own thing. I love that line. I love how Miles Morales is trying to take control over his story, and that it leads to him going back to the spider timeline. So Miles Morales doesn't go to his dimension, he goes to the spider's dimension, and we get to see a preview of what Miles Morales was supposed to be in his universe, at least. We find out that in this world, Jefferson Morales, oh god, that's just stick to Jefferson Davis. We find out that he dies, and the Prowler is the one that's mentoring Miles Morales, and this Miles Morales just so happens to be the Prowler, and basically the two Miles are talking to each other. Our Miles is like, hey, listen, I have to get back to my timeline. Our dad is gonna die. He goes, your dad is gonna die. And it's kind of crazy because this Miles Morales was supposed to be Spider-Man, and then the Miles Morales that we know was supposed to be the Prowler. That is a crazy turnaround if you think about it. I love the Ain't No Love in the Hardest City playing in the background. That was awesome. But now that all of this is settled, Gwen goes back to her timeline where she talks to her father who quit, and basically Gwen changed the way her universe is supposed to look like. So because of it, she realized like nothing happened to her Earth, so everything should be fine. It's time to find Miles. And in the process, Gwen built her team, which consists of Spider Noir, Peter B. Parker, Spider Pig, Spider Punk, Pavitr's Spider Man. I don't know how to say his name. Penny Parker. So she got like a mix of different Spider-Man to help out. And then I love how the movie ends with her like, oh, are you gonna join? Like, that was really cool. Like, oh, are you gonna join the team? And that was a fantastic way to end it. It is unfortunate because we were supposed to get the movie the following year, but then the SAG-AFTRA writer strike happened. We changed animators. There was a lot going on, but honestly, the animation here just is so breathtaking that you need to take your time with this. You can't mess up the animation. It's gonna look horrible if you do. That's why you gotta take your time with the animation. The good news is that they already have the story and the voice ready to go. It's just about making this look beautiful, and I think they got it down. There really is nothing to complain about this movie. The only two things that I could say are bad is the first one being the soundtrack isn't as strong as it was in the first one. Like, I can tell you beat by beat every song that plays in Into the Spider-Verse. Here, the only memorable song is the last one during the credits. Across the Spider-Verse is going to be divisive in the sense that a lot of people are not going to like that it ended in such a cliffhanger. But did you guys remember The Empire Strikes Back? It's one of the greatest movies of all time, and yet it ended in a big cliffhanger. So let's just hope that Beyond the Spider-Verse delivers, and then people can shut up about this and they can finally say that we have one of the greatest animation trilogies of all time, one of the greatest trilogies of all time, maybe the best one of the 2020s, if I'm being quite honest, because this movie absolutely is an A plus. They did a fantastic job of making you care about everybody involved, and it leaves you questioning what is next for this universe, for this story, I should say. But yeah, that's my honest opinion on the movie. It's one of the best of all time. The next thing I'm gonna review is probably the last bad thing I'm gonna be talking about, and that is the TV series Spider Woman. I can't believe I chose this to review during Spider Month, but I'm gonna review it regardless. So, wish me luck.